What's going on, everyone? Badger here. And in my humble opinion, Mass Effect 1 through 3, the Mass Effect trilogy, is absolutely one of the best gaming trilogies we have ever had. It is in the top 10. The third one has a polarizing ending that I'm sure will be talked about, but by and large, still it holds up as one of the greatest accomplishments. Certainly BioWare, right next to the Knights of the Republic in those earlier Dragon Ages, true magic was made. And it's, of course, ripe for an adaptation to either movies or series, and in this case, series. And so we found out it is going forward over there at Amazon. In June, we got Doug Jung. He's going to be the showrunner. If that name sounds a little familiar to you, it's because that's the guy who did the screenplays for Star Trek Beyond, Mindhunter, The Cloverfield Paradox, Big Love, and 2017's God Particle. Now, he is the he's the showrunner. He's not actually the writer. The writer, which probably not going to make you feel any better, is someone named Daniel Casey, who did Fast and Furious 9. And then we have a Marvel television producer, Kareem Zarek, and he's the executive producer under CD Tree Productions. And then what I would consider a boon, something good, is that we found out that a vast majority of Amazon's, because it's an Amazon show, the Fallout production team is joining. And despite what you might think about lore differences, even though Fallout was showing the Fallout universe 9 years after the last game, so of course some things were going to change, and maybe Shady Sands was in the wrong spot, but everything else super accurate, over 90 percentile of wow, they made this accurate. So Mass Effect, something that has a bunch of details and species and lore and all of that. You hope it gets the same respect. And now we have the casting call. The big question, of course, is you could choose between a male and a female Shepard. What were they going to do? If this was made 2 or 3 years ago, I would have almost guaranteed you that Shepard was going to be the female version, maybe a black Shepard, because of course the ethnicity is not baked into the character, and neither is gender, even if we have specific wants and needs, because depending on the gender, storylines do go different. So it looks like this one, they're opting to do both. And if you're wondering how they're going to do that, it looks like they might have a proxy character. But let's start with the first one that we found. This all comes from Daniel Reitman. It's really the only source of news these days. So Commander Shepard, the male version. So the first casting call in Reitman's report stated that the series is looking for a male lead between 30 and 39. Damn, I just missed out. With an open ethnicity, who is described as a young Colin Farrell. So, okay. That very much is in line with what Mark Meer looking younger Shepard. Casting call could likely be from Mass Effect protagonist Commander Shepard. In the video game, Shepard is an expert super soldier of the Systems Alliance, but he's an N7 soldier who ends up being made the first human Spectre, which is essentially space James Bond. He's the first human to get this power who works for the Citadel, which is a collection of alien races. God, the lore is so deep on this. So yeah, whoever gets this is going to have a strong commanding, literally Commander Shepard. Is going to have an edge, but also have personality and be the type that, because I'm assuming they're going to go with a mostly Paragon with renegade decisions patched in there. Got to be someone who has charisma up the yin yang. Next up is what everyone is assuming to be Liara T'Soni. She is, there's a bunch of romantic interests, but among all of them, Liara is one of the most shipped and one of the most, it makes sense the most in all the lore, including the comics and books that take place in between the games. So part of that is also the report of including a female lead between 34 and 39 years old who will play an alien. Some fans believe this character could be Liara T'Soni, an Asari. It's an all-female species with telekinetic abilities and all the things. She's 106 years old in the first Mass Effect, even though since Asari lived to be 1,000 years old plus, an 106-year-old is like a teenager in the Asari. She's an expert at Prothean, which is at the time, we think it's the lost race that all the Mass Effect technology and all the technology that humans found is based upon, and she gets caught up in helping them understand it. This also, quite frankly, could be... Now, it says prosthetics will be needed, so that's why everyone is assuming this is Liara, but honestly, this could also be Tali if we're going to consider the suit that she wears a form of prosthetics. Next up is this is where we should be worried, is... this website, The Direct, is suggesting that they're going to do a female Shepard proxy, and it's going to cut to Earth. This sounds like the biggest mistake, because until you get to the third game, there's nothing really interesting happening on Earth. It's all out there in the verse. So this one is another female lead between 30 and 49, is part of Mass Effect's casting call. She's described as a human female providing a parallel narrative from Earth, because in the games, obviously, it's only from Shepard's point of view, and then when it deals with Earth, it's him talking to Commander Anderson, who's there. And so, yeah, this one could be the mistake. It's possible that this character will end up being a proxy for a female version of Commander Shepard stationed on Earth. Mass Effect games allow the player to choose his female version or male, blah, blah, blah. Having a narrative set on Earth would be historic for Mass Effect, since the game was primarily set in space. This would give fans an opportunity to learn more about the perspective of humans on Earth, specifically through this female character. It also completely mess up the flow of the show, and every time you're getting the actual game and characters you want, it's going to cut back to Earth to some DEI tax of, I'm just calling it now because there's always some shaved head with cornrows, DEI tax, just like in the Spider-Man games when you would have to cut to play as Mary Jane or something like that. No one wants that. So this is so far the most concerning thing we've heard. Then we, of course, got the Spectre Saren. He's the main antagonist of the game. He's a rogue Spectre who ends up working with the Geth, think Cylons. Casting calls also include the series' main villain, who is a male between 40 and 60. Needs to be a creature or character actor like Doug Jones, because Turians, they're an insectoid race with the carapace on the outside. So, yeah, that is going to take a lot of prosthetics to do this live action, or it's going to be a CGI type thing. Watch them get, well, no, he's too busy doing Gollum. There is a strong chance that this is none other than Spectre Saren, the rogue agent who aligns himself with Reaper. Similar to Shepard, he is a highly skilled operative, blah, blah, blah. Saren is a dangerous villain who would do anything to reach the hierarchy of domination. I don't even know what that means. His ultimate goal is to attack the Citadel and to stabilize it so the Reapers can arrive and begin their plan of harvesting organic life. So a Doug Jones type. And everyone's best friend, Garrus Vakarian. I actually disagree completely with who they think. I don't think this is Garrus at all, but the final piece of the casting call in the report is looking for a male lead between 30 and 49 years old who will play a fighter soldier type character that requires a wrestler type physicality. Garrus does not require a physical wrestler type. He's also light and lithe and lean. They say that this could lead. I disagree with that completely. I think that is very obviously for the Krogan. This is for Rex, who is a Krogan also live over 1,000 years. The Krogans have a forced genophage on them, so that very few Krogan are born, because at one point, after helping save the galaxy, they tried to take over the galaxy. The Turians and the Solarians, which is another race, they did a no-no. And so they did some very bad things. And obviously one of the game plots is helping cure them so they can have babies, and that they help you against your fight in the Reaper. So yeah, I think wrestler type physicality is 100% going to be Rex and a Krogan. And that is so far all we have. Those are the 5 characters. Again, to me, the biggest concern is the female character on Earth. Not because I hate women, but I hate the chances that this will be a fun one. Again, the biggest disservice we've ever seen has been in Paramount and their Halo adaptation, which was just, what a travesty. And it was Halo in name only. It's the biggest concern with this one, that they'll just make insufferable versions of the character and lead into all the wrong messaging. But there it is. I guess it is heartening that one of the main leads is male Shepard and a young Colin Farrell type. That is just fine for a Shepard. And then we'll see. They also have Tally. They have Joker, who was voiced by Seth Green. So I mean, in the all the games. So yeah, still a long way to go. I'm a sweet summer child, so there's enough things here that makes me slightly hopeful for it. But if history is any example, this is probably not going to be great. But I will go into it with the best of hope and intentions and positive energy. We're going to have good things. You let me know what you think about this. Who do you think that female protagonist is? Is that maybe they're going to take Ashley Williams and have her be Earthside, not even have her be with Shepard because they don't want to confuse the love interest thing, and they're not, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Just trying to guess what they're doing because that's all we got. So let me know what you think about this. Let me know who you think should be Commander Shepard. Let me know if you think that physicality that they want of a wrestler, if that's for Garrus, or if you think it's probably for Rex, the big Krogan, that you need to be a big burly wrestler. Krogan in actual size is supposed to be like 12 feet tall or something ridiculous like that, even though the actual scale in the video games was all over the place. So let me know what you think about this. Make sure to like, share, and sub. We are getting very close to 10,000, and I would very much appreciate it. Either way, you know what to do.
Well, bye.